It's the Drinking with Drew Show. The only podcast in Florida hosted by the private investigator of the stars, Drew.
So I'll just come.
Can you get this fucking stranger off my damn lawn?
I like it.
We're sampling drinks from across the world, but mainly from Riverview, Florida. We're giving you the spin on all the news you need to know about. Local, national, maybe even from your bedroom. Yep, that includes sex and whatever else we care to talk about.
I actually have a butthole in my face.
Better than Joe Rogan, but not as good as Jerry Springer. You'll laugh.
like I was on a safari and I got eaten by a lion. Like, fuck yeah. Like, you get to heaven, you got like street cred.
You'll cry.
I miss you, yeah. We still have it here, right?
You'll want to pry your earballs off. Tune in. Tune out. Don't believe a word we say. That's so freaking cool, man. DrinkingWithDrew.com with guest Lusty Laura, the neighbor Joe, Darby. Special appearances by J. Fred and Casey. And now, here's Drew. Y'all better listen up now. So we will say we have Lusty Laura in the house.
Thank you.
And special guest, Brian Szilvasy.
How's it going?
Did he pronounce that right?
Did I? I
Close
kind of.
enough.
Yeah. It's as good as it's going to get. I'm just going to call you Brian S.
As long as the check clears.
Yeah. And we have Garby.
There you go.
There you go. That was a good one?
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
And we have Joe.
Is that an insult to the way I speak? Or?
Well, I did it. That's why I did Garby last time. So I figured I'd share the love a little bit.
You know,
Last
I actually got misgendered today.
Yeah.
When I was at the drive-through.
Okay. What happened?
And they just, yes, ma'am, no problem. Thank you, ma'am. You can pull up.
Nice.
Okay.
You should have. I will.
Yeah, exactly.
I will do
I
that.
pull up and I'm like, yeah, I'm the ma'am. So, you know,
It happened.
Can I get a name for the order? Joe?
yeah. I've had times when I'm on the phone and I give him like my name and credit card number and address, and he's like, "Oh, you sound cute." I'm like, "No, I'm a dude."
Oh, no.
And he's like,
Oh my god.
I was,
It happens, Joe.
it does, you know. I mean, the brain actually plays a lot of tricks on you. So if you've seen me in person, you think, "Oh, a man." But if you hear
Sometimes.
me without seeing me, your brain doesn't know what to fill in the blanks with. And I have a different higher pitch. And audio recordings, like on video, on the phone, on speaker systems, they actually weed out certain pitches, and it makes me sound higher than I actually am.
Okay, for everybody listening on Spotify and not on video, Joe is actually a man.
Exactly.
Joe with
For the most part.
Joseph.
It's not
For the
just
most part.
Not Josephina.
exactly.
Right.
Not Josephina. Not Josephine.
For the most part.
That's all right. I've had people emailing me hundreds of emails a week asking me if you're male or female, so I'm glad we were able to clear that up.
At least you get hundreds of emails on the
Yeah.
show.
He's
You know?
cis male or whatever that
There
is.
you go.
I'm cisgender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They,
who's
them pronouns.
who's
So
buying a
I
lotto
do get-
ticket? It's $1 billion now, right?
I'm buying it tomorrow. I'm going to spend my life savings on it.
Right?
Is
It's
it for
worth
the
it.
one, is it for the one that's Wednesday or is it for the one
It's
that's
Wednesday,
Friday?
yeah.
It's
Oh,
the Wednesday
damn.
one.
Yeah.
Both
Wednesday
of them are high. I think
$1 billion.
one's $1 billion, and I don't know what the other one is.
Yeah,
Probably
they're both-
700 million.
Yeah, they're both up there.
Can you imagine how long the lines anywhere?
I bought one
especially
yesterday.
Publix,
I bought one
especially
yesterday, and I walked in no problem.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
I'm thinking like after work.
You got to do it in the
Because if you-
morning.
Yeah, and Publix is always bad though. When
Yeah.
it hits high like
Always
this,
bad, yeah.
oof.
Yep. Everybody's spending their government-funded dollars.
Yeah.
So
Well,
as
someone just won $1 million on the Powerball, literally
that's
down
the
the street
thing.
from the apartment where I used to live.
I haven't
Tampa.
checked to see if I'm a winner at all. I still could have won something because that's what
Right.
they.
True.
Oh, there was no winner, so people are like, whoosh, and they tear
Yeah.
their shit up.
I know.
Yeah.
Where they could have won fucking $1,000 or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, but
Yeah.
take it up there and now. So here's my question, though, because don't they have? They used to have like a system in place, or at least now they have a system in place. I think where there's if you're a winner, it makes a sound and you can hear it.
Right.
Because cashiers were like, "You're a winner." Oh, sorry, you didn't win shit, and they were cashing your shit out.
Yeah.
Still in tickets.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I think
really?
yeah.
So now I think there's like it writes on the form winner or not winner or something, and they have to give it back to you.
Wow.
Yeah, because they were like totally scamming people out, just scanning it, and it would be like winner, and they're like, sorry.
Yeah.
That happened to me with the scratch off years ago. I just went and it was like, I think like $60-$80 or something like that. And you could clearly see that it was a winner. Like you could do the math. It wasn't that hard to see there was money on it. And so I'll go to this gas station. I don't even know where I was at, like a random one. And the lady's like, oh, sorry. No, it's not, our system's not working. Like she scanned it, but it didn't have like the noise or whatever. And so she gave the ticket back to me, and I went up the road to the next gas station, and they're like, this ticket's already been cashed. So I had to go back to that fucking gas station and like yell at the lady, and she gave me the money. But I'm like,
wow,
what the hell? Wow. You didn't think that somebody would find out that you cashed and you pocketed the money? Because obviously you just handed it to me, so you knew that it was a good ticket, and you took the money yourself.
Right. Well, what are you doing with the money, Brian, if you win $1 billion?
Buying a couple of houses around the world. You know, I love to travel, so
you're never here. Like literally, like I look on your Facebook page, you're like, where have not you been?
There's a lot of places I haven't been, but if I'm not traveling at least once every 6 weeks,
really
6 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm ready to
he
climb
goes
up.
everywhere.
Well, there's vacations and there's traveling. So, I'll go to Costa Rica 3 or 4 times a year, go fishing. This summer, coming up in about 4 weeks, we're doing 9 days in Ireland.
Wow.
Nice.
We're going over there and ending up at the Navy versus Notre Dame football game.
Oh, cool.
So this summer, the big trip was we did 2.5 weeks, basically almost all of it in Greece and Switzerland.
Nice.
Wow.
The 2
Fun
summers
times.
before then, did a couple weeks each summer in Italy. But, we do 3 or 4 trips in the U.S. I think we're going out to San Antonio in November, going up to Connecticut in October, I think.
So somebody who is well-versed in traveling to other countries, how good do people have it in the United States?
Oh, we have it the best. I mean, it's, look, I love traveling to Italy. I love staying in Italy, but that's a vacation, not necessarily. First of all, you have to be here to make the money to be able to afford to retire and travel over there. So I think but it's the little things, and your perspective changes. I mean, when I first started traveling to Europe was in 97, and maybe sometimes it was little stuff that you don't think about, but ketchup not being free. That was a big thing to me when you're starting college student and you go to McDonald's or you go somewhere and they'll give you all the dang mayonnaise you want, but it was like 25 cents for a packet of ketchup, and you were just like, okay, we get that for free. Obviously, the sizes are different and stuff like that, but in general, I mean, people don't realize there's a reason people are dying to get into this country.
Right. That's what, it's like, okay, you've got, people not standing for the flag and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, I understand protest and the reason why they do it, but I don't know, man. It's like, if they don't realize how bad it is elsewhere, like, Brittany Griner, now she's standing for the pledge, and she respects the country. Well, yeah, because you went to fucking Russia and you were locked up for
Well, I think it would be a great thing if people were able to, obviously traveling. It does give you a perspective. You can go and see all these beautiful and amazing things. But I can tell you, some of the people who are traveling with this summer. I mean, even in Athens or Rome or whatever, especially when you're traveling with the women, you can't flush the toilet paper.
Right.
Their pipes are so old. You have to put it in a wastebasket, and the women we're traveling with, that's disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not something that we're used to.
At least the places you went to had toilets. Because there's been some places I've been to in Europe, and I know places in Asia I haven't been to, but I've heard of. It's mostly just a hole in the ground. You kind of squat over the hole.
Nope.
Garby, did you get toilets at your house yet?
Yeah, I got a few. The hole in the floor is pretty interesting in Asia.
Well,
what are we looking at?
You?
Why?
None.
Why Joe? What are you pointing at, Joe?
None.
He's pointing at me.
Johanna says, why are you drinking root beer?
I'm drinking root beer because I tried to friend you on LinkedIn and you ignored me.
Oh. Well.
So,
So now he's sad and sober. Great job, Johanna.
Have you been to Ireland yet?
He's already started stalking you.
I have not been to Ireland yet. That's one of the things.
Ireland's amazing.
Traveling up until now, I basically wanted to go to countries where they didn't speak English.
Right. Yeah.
Because it does something for me when I'm not, I'm an attorney, so I'm nonstop listening to people talk and talking to the other people, and just being able to not zone out and just walk and not understand anything that anybody's saying. It kind of gives me a break.
You might find that still in Ireland too.
True.
Really?
Not
Yeah,
understand
It's
Irish.
pretty thick, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well, only because they're talking with like the thick,
Thick
drunken
accent,
accents.
Yeah, there are times where we had a bartender at one place where didn't understand a word he said the entire time we were there. Like, what are you speaking? The only thing we understood was English. He said, like,
Gaelic or
okay, yeah, it's
something,
not,
right?
yeah, like,
Well, I mean,
I thought for sure you were speaking Gaelic. No. Okay.
Gaelic is still the official language, but
Yeah.
they don't really speak it colloquially. Like it's like formal, but they don't usually use it on a day to day.
Shooting back to your bathroom in the hole in the ground. The only
I've
time
seen them.
Yeah, the only time I remember seeing that was we were on a train coming back out of Spain into France, because I was doing a study abroad in Montpellier, France, when I was in law school, and the train stopped, and you're like, okay, you don't want to do that on the train. So you jump off, and I run into the bathroom, and literally where you would think there would be 8 stalls, like running down, there was no walls, there was the hole, and they were basically grip pads
Yep.
that were maybe
Little foot pads on each side of the hole.
Well, these were big, like almost like if you were in a warehouse or a slick or whatever. They were 2 feet wide and maybe 4 foot long, but there's 8 holes. So I guess you were just supposed to,
Oh yeah.
like
Line
you
'em
said,
up.
squat down. I'm like, yep, back on the train, not doing that.
Why not?
I walked into the.
What do you care? So someone halfway across the world that you've never seen before and you've never going to see again, and they're not going to take their phone out and take a picture of you. So they saw half your butt crack. Who
Oh,
cares?
I'm not
If
worried
I
about
wanted
that.
to
I'm-
shit
So
in a
what?
hole in the ground, I would go camping and do it for a lot cheaper. If I'm going to another country, I better have a toilet and some fucking toilet paper. I'm just saying. That's why I don't go camping.
See, I was telling you, the girls were pissed off. They're like, what do you mean I can't flush my toilet
Yeah,
paper?
no.
I'm
My
like,
my wife saw one of those holes when we were in I think it was somewhere in Italy or Greece. We've been in so many places too, we don't remember. But she was like, I don't know what that is. I had to explain. I was like, that's normal over here.
Well, the train bathrooms have gotten a lot better
Yeah.
too. Way back when, a lot of the trains were literally just a hole. I mean, you would go into it, and there'd be a sign, "Do not flush," while you're pulling into a terminal, because all you're doing is dropping it on the tracks, whether it was 1 or 2. So literally, they would tell you, don't quote unquote flush when you're pulling into a terminal, because they don't want all this feces and urine at the terminal. You're just going down the track, and you just push the thing, and it would drop down on the track.
I
You're
can't
okay.
imagine having to squat that low on a train.
Oh
Like,
my
I mean,
God.
that's-
Right.
On the train is
Were they
difficult.
small, like airplane bathrooms, like
Yeah,
they're tiny?
well,
Yeah.
a little bit bigger than that, but yeah. But now they've gotten much better. I think they have holding tanks
Yeah.
for the most part, because at a certain point you have to get off that system. It's
Riverview's trying to get out of that as well. We still have holes in the ground. Jeez. So, speaking of bars and weird places, so you went to the Boneyard closing.
part of it, yes.
Part of it? Well,
It closed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Boneyard is officially closed.
Done.
What is the
Wow.
Boneyard for those of
Okay.
us that might not know?
Well, people are visually throwing cans and tater tots at you right now, Joe, because you
It was
do
a
not know.
bar in Ybor that I heard it was open for like 23 years.
It's been open forever, yeah.
Forever.
And it was pet friendly. It was smoker friendly, cigar friendly. Like literally, you could go there and do anything you wanted to.
And the best food.
like best
the
food, best wings ever. And it was just like the hole in the wall place. You went to hang out.
Same
Listen
people
to
working there, same
The
customers.
jukebox, you could find anything you wanted to listen to on the jukebox, from Sinatra to Deicide. Like they had everything that you wanted to. They would, pretty much let you play anything unless Millie was working. She would turn off country. But I mean, there was just about everything on there that you could play. But everything was cool. Pool tables,
Yeah, pool tables, dartboards.
just
didn't they have?
yeah, for a little bit. But it was just a place that everybody in Ybor could go and hang out. You knew everybody. It was just a chill place. And right during COVID, they decided to shut the doors and remodel, and no more smoking, no more pets, and completely kind of turn it more into a commercial style of venue.
They tried to upscale it when it's literally like a dive
Right.
bar. Like you have
Yeah.
your regulars, you have the same workers. Like everyone goes there just to be comfortable.
So the regulars didn't take well to that, and they just
Nope.
kind of stopped going. And
We
then
were those regulars.
I mean, I take typically, when we'd go out, we would always take one of the dogs. So, Elmer's was pet friendly, which Elmer's just closed as well.
Really?
I thought so they closed the Ybor one too?
Yep,
Yes.
Yep.
Rock Brothers is next.
Yep. Rock Brothers is
Wow.
closed.
'Cause I
So
knew
that's like 3: Bam Bam, Elbers, Boneyard, and then
Because they
now.
just closed the Elmer's on McDill for
Yeah,
a
a while ago. Like
Right.
that was like 3
That's
years
been
ago.
a while.
Right,
yeah.
but I thought I did not know they closed the one in Ybor.
Yeah. So, it just sucks. I mean, I understand what they were trying to do, but I think it was just kind of a slap in the face to all the regulars that have been supporting them and giving them business over the years. And I don't know the reason for it. I don't know why they were trying to clean it up when it was pretty much doing great.
Was
you
it
know.
same ownership or new owners, new managers?
Same owners. It was just, for whatever reason, they decided to switch it up. And it did not go well. And everybody knew it wasn't going to go well. Everybody who had been going there for years and years immediately knew that this change was not a good change. And, you walked in and you felt like you were just like at, Applebee's almost. I mean, it was just like weird. It was just like so weird.
Yeah.
I honestly think that if they had just made the one change to allow dogs back inside, they probably would have gotten a lot of their people back. Because like smoking,
Yeah,
a lot
well-
of places stopped the smoking
Yeah, the
with
smoking,
COVID.
yeah.
Like that's what. But if they had they put the dog, rule back in where you could bring your pets in.
Was it
they
indoor or
probably would've
outdoor?
done it. It was
Indoor.
indoor.
Indoor, and
Yeah.
they still allowed smoking.
Yeah, and dogs.
And you have some places in Ybor that still allowed smoking and still allowed pets. And they
As
just
long
had,
as they don't serve food, though, right?
Well,
they
they-
definitely serve food.
Yeah.
They
But
just
it-
had,
It has to be like a percentage of your
take-
income.
right,
It has to be
yeah.
below. Yeah.
A small menu,
Yeah.
like not all. Yeah.
and even, Circles, stopped allowing cigars, but they still allow pets. So yeah, there were some changes. A lot of places made changes over the years or since COVID with the smoking, which I don't know how that correlates to COVID, but they just
The
decided.
lungs.
Yeah.
But it
You
just,
know,
but
can't
I mean, it has nothing to do with COVID. I mean, it's either going to allow smoking or not. And Circles is what 60 or even 45% outside. I mean,
More
they have a
than that.
huge area outside where you
They
can say, okay,
packed-
this
they
is smoking,
packed
this is
tables in their
non-smoking.
outside
It used to
area.
be all they had was outside.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. That's
Well,
all I remembered.
Circles always had like an indoor area, but it's honestly
Right.
not
No.
that big of an area.
No.
It's not like it is now either. Like last time I
Well,
went was.
they Circles and like they probably added 30 tables.
Yeah,
All
I blew
outside.
my
All
mind. It blew
outside.
my mind. I was there for lunch with my parents a couple weeks ago, and it blew my mind because I hadn't been there in years.
Yeah, it's changed completely.
Yeah,
Now the good news is their wedding singer band has not been performing
Thank
lately.
you, Jesus.
Like we would go there literally, and it was just like the same,
Holiday.
very lame. Like you felt like you were at a fucking
Celebrate.
wedding
Yeah.
when you went there. I'm like,
Not the
what
Dan band.
no, I don't even know what it was, but yeah, the damn band. That'd have at least been cool. But no, it was just like the couple and maybe a third guy that would go up there and sing like wedding songs left and right. And I'm like, Jesus.
Well, they also got rid of their dance floor. They used to have the little open area
Well,
in front
that's
of the
what
stage. They
they've-
packed it with
yeah.
tables, so they don't even have that anymore. So
They put more tables down by the water. And
So going back to the Boneyard, so
Yeah.
we tried to get a group of people to go down, which basically fell apart. But the first time, they didn't really announce it that well, and they're saying, okay, we're having our, farewell, whatever, on Sunday this weekend come out. So we wanted to get some people to go down. So on their site, it first said 2:00. So we told everybody to go down there at 2:00. And I said, we better check because we're calling them and they're not answering. And so then you go on finally and you see it. And it said, we're going to open at 3. So then we tell people we're going to be down there at 3. So we get down there at 3. They're not open. They ended up opening at 5. And it was it was packed. I mean, the whole place was packed, which was nice.
But was it? I'm just curious because a lot of the regulars that I saw in Ybor, they were like, "Fuck that, we're not going."
No, I didn't. Look, I don't know who the regulars were, but I didn't see any dogs. Obviously, there's
Right.
no smoking in there. And
That's the
the
last night
people-
they're open. Why not allow the dogs back? Be
Right.
Like, okay, for this
Right.
one night, bring your
Yeah.
dogs.
The
hang
when
three-
is
out.
it on the bar?
the 3 or 4 couples I talked, one of them was from North Carolina, so they probably just stumbled upon the
Oh
place.
wow!
Now, I don't have a lot of experience with the old Boneyard. I think I went in there 1 or 2 times, maybe with Hackworth or something like that. But
Makes sense.
we, not having anything to compare it to. I mean, whenever they changed, their bourbon selection went way up. They had some Pappies in there, some Stags.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They had high-end bourbons, which was nice because most of the places down in Ybor just Rock Brothers
right.
has some decent stuff. They have some decent stuff. Other than that,
But
you're going in there and it's PBR and vodka.
Boneyard typically would serve, $2 PBRs. That was their thing. Like, oh, you got a $2 PBR, you got a shot of, house whiskey or whatever. It's just.
Did you mention Pappy Van Winkle?
Yeah.
They serve that?
Yeah, they had it there. Yeah, I tried to actually.
Quite pricey.
Oh yeah. So the first time when we got in there, I was trying to get some. I figured, okay, they're trying to, because they did say, come help us drain the kegs and stuff. So I'm thinking maybe they'll have some specials. We get in there, she's like, "There's no specials. What do you want?"
My God.
And so I'll say, "Well, how much for some scotch?" Scotch wasn't bad priced. He looked at. They have the. What's funny though, and this maybe, ties into some stuff, and they probably don't have a whole lot of regular bartenders or whatever in there, because all the prices per ounce were marked on the back of the bottle. I've never seen that.
Wow.
So she's grabbing the bottle and looking at it, and the one I point out, I said, there's about 3 or 4 ounces left in it. And I'm like, okay, for the Stag, which is a really, really high-end bottle, okay, maybe, depending on the year, $1,000, $1,200 for the whole bottle, and there's maybe a tenth of it left. And she goes, it's supposed to be, $40 an ounce, but I'll give you what's left in here for $40. Well, hell, it's 3 ounces. I'm like, go for it.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. We're going to get some really good deals. And so then I pointed to the old Rip Van Winkle, and she goes, this is $70 an ounce. I said, so what is it going to be? And she goes, $70 an ounce. So I'm like, okay, switching off to something else.
Yeah, but if they go out of business, what are they going to do with all their leftover half bottles?
I asked the guy that owns the Boneyard owns
The castle.
So they were going to move all of it to the castle.
Can they move over like half-empty bottles and stuff like that?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
I know for places that have legitimate liquor licenses, you can't refill bottles. Like you can't pour 2 half bottles into one.
Oh no, you can't refill and stuff. But
I know.
You can take the open bottle.
But I wasn't sure they can transfer to another establishment and stuff like that. Because I
that's
know
not-
there's certain like regulations.
None of my
but
business, Joe.
I'm just saying, I mean, if you can get some cheap prices,
down. We're gonna have a lot of.
if you can get some cheap prices on some good bourbon,
My father-in-law's my father-in-law had a friend that owned a restaurant out in on Dale Mabry, a Basque place, and when they shut down, he didn't want all the liquor. He was done. Like he was getting rid of the place. So he had hundreds of bottles of wine that he gave away and kept for himself, and a bunch of liquor. My father-in-law, he would bring over a different bottle of bourbon every week.
Right.
It was fantastic. Yeah, that lasted for months. But then fine.
Remember, I
Eventually
brought a
survived.
couple of bottles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if anybody wants some,
Well, we're
tastings,
going to do a taste test later, but Joe, you're a whiskey guy, so
yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
you want to. Oh yeah, you are too. I mean, yeah. So if you guys want that, we don't have to wait until we're doing an official taste test. If you want to partake,
I don't think those will meet Joe's code. They're half empty.
No, I just wasn't sure if there were any regulations on transferring to
Yeah.
another establishment.
it's the same company.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you could sell it when it's open like that. I don't know. But if he owns both of the companies, it doesn't really matter. I mean,
Well,
it's like
I'm-
taking hamburgers from one
Right.
McDonald's to your other McDonald's that you own.
Yeah, but
on the
they
other
probably
side
have
of
to have
town.
separate liquor licenses, right?
Yeah.
who knows? Yeah, I'm sure the Castle and Boneyard
Yeah.
have 2 separate
Yeah.
liquor licenses. Yeah.
Stop calling.
And unless you
problems,
call the
Joe.
ATF or something,
I was gonna say.
who knows? Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. Don't get the castle shut down.
Castle, if you get shut down, I was not involved in this.
Nope.
Send the bad guys to Joe's house.
Yep.
Wait, I was just putting on Greg. Sorry. This is your man, Castle people.
It's Josephine.
There's this lady over here to my left.
Josephina.
Dunder Mifflin. Call Dunder Mifflin.
I have a funny story about the castle too.
Oh, please, pray tell.
So we I'm in crew, so we go there, I think, after one of the crew events, and I don't know much about the castle, and I think it might have been one of the first or second times I'm there, and they're having one of their dress-up deals. And we're there, and whatever's going down, and all of a sudden my girlfriend looks over at me and goes, I feel Satan in this place.
Then you know you're in the right place.
Then
She goes,
right.
I want to get out of here.
She felt the proper spirit.
She goes, I feel Satan. I'm like, was that the girl with the horns and the wings, or the guy over there with his pants pulled down getting his pants spanked?
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, I used to live a block away from the castle, so good times, good times.
What was that, an old Masonic lodge or something?
Way back in the day, I mean, it's been quite a few things, and I'm sure people know the history of the castle much better than I do. But man, I remember reading like it was a place where they would do God, what my memory's
down.
not serving me right now.
Dead air. Just
No, there
dead
was
air.
no, there was. That's why I'm muting you. It was like a holding place for people who were trying to vote, like people who were trying to vote but legally couldn't, and they were stashing these people in that venue, and then like somehow letting them. This was like in the 40s or 50s, I think. I don't even remember, but I want to study that because I haven't read that until like it's been like 15 years since I read about that. Johanna, do you know? Can you comment?
Do some research for us, Johanna.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, everybody. This has been another episode of the Drinking with Drew show. Stay tuned for more uploads, more shows. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Humble Social, all the socials. Our live shows are Tuesday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to check us out live. You can call into the show and be a part of it. See you soon.